What is up? Welcome back to the channel. All of my just guys on my lunch break out there who, for whatever reason, tune in every day, every other day to listen to some random guy on his lunch break do this right here. I'm sure it'll all come out in the wash eventually. Why I've got almost 700 people at this point that hit the subscribe button, and many of which keep coming back every day. Sometimes when I sit and think about it, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. You know, I mean, when I started this channel 9 months ago, I was just a guy, trying to get off of MIT extracts, just kind of doing a video vlog diary to myself. I didn't even know if I was actually going to make the videos public. I actually had that discussion with myself in the early goings. I didn't know if I was going to actually make the videos public because it was more just a play for me to try to, talk it out, talk through it, kind of hold myself accountable so that I could make sure that I got off of them and got at a better place with Kratom, whether that be just a lower amount or completely off. I wasn't sure at that point. And as you know, there's been a lot of ups, downs, there's been a lot of 180s on this channel, and you guys have gotten to see all of it, as I still don't know exactly where my life is headed with Kratom, but I know where the channel's headed. I can't always explain that, but for whatever reason, people like listening to me. Maybe it's the topic, maybe it's the personality, maybe it's the transparency, maybe it's because it's an open, safe place type forum where you can talk about things like Kratom, and we delve into a lot of things on here, a lot of things that people feel like they really don't have an outlet in their life to discuss those things. We discuss them on this channel, and it's not completely exclusive to Kratom, to be honest with you. We delve into a lot of different things on here, but either way, I appreciate you guys coming back. For whatever reason is that you keep doing it, I appreciate you coming back. It was only about 3 weeks ago, when I celebrated 600 subscribers, and this month has been like a pretty sizable snowball type effect, and we're now 3 weeks later, and I'm already right around the corner from 700. I'm like, damn, this, I can see it, visibly see it starting to kind of pick up speed a little bit, kind of like a snowball would. So I'm claiming it right now. The first guy to ever go viral just by sitting in his car on his lunch break, yapping, doing this. And then you guys are at home. It's fun though. It's fun. We have a good time. And yeah, so yesterday, just real quick, I was actually off of work yesterday. As you know, well, some of you may know, some of you may not know, yesterday was Martin Luther King Day. So my eldest son was out of school because of Martin Luther King Day, public holiday. And my infant son's daycare was closed because he actually goes to a church daycare. So they, recognize Martin Luther King Day as a holiday, okay? And damn, it's hot in here. Let me turn this AC up real quick. And so my wife had to be out of town in Elizabethtown yesterday. So who had to stay home with the baby all day? I had to take some personal time off of work just to stay home with the baby all day. That's hard work, man. In a lot of ways, I would say that's harder work than what I actually do for a job where I get paid for it, right? But either way, kind of have to do what I have to do for the family there. And my wife is the main caregiver of my son, and she has the type of job where she kind of makes her own schedule. So there's been plenty of times in the afternoon where, she got sick, or not she, but my son got sick at daycare, or just whatever it is, for whatever reason, for doctor's appointments for him, she would take off early and, spend the whole afternoon and early evening with him till I can get home. And so that was the least I could do. I had kind of had to do my duty there as a father yesterday. But yeah, and then my 17-year-old actually got a job for the first time. I can't believe it, man. I almost shed a tear. I was like, oh, my youngest has got a freaking job, man. He's working. He got a job at the local grocery store at Food Lion. A really good first job for him. One of the main reasons we wanted to do that, because this Food Lion is literally about 100 to 150 yards from his school. He can literally leave school every day, walk about the length of a football field or a little further, and he's at Food Lion. He's at his work. And, then we live about 2 miles down the street from Food Lion and from his school as well. So it's this perfect little triangle. There's our house that sits over here on the golf course. There's Food Lion right over here. And then adjacent to that, almost directly across the road, that's my son's high school. So it was just a perfect opportunity, a really good first job for him. And, my son, I've talked about this before, is one of those things where we discussed with him. He only came to live with me when he was around 14 years old. Myself and my first wife, who is my eldest son's mother, split up, probably 10 plus years ago. And, they moved away. My son lived in Spain for a little while with his mother and his stepfather. And then he moved back here to the States, and he was in Miami for a little while. So I went through a period of time where I was not seeing my eldest son very much at all. Although I stayed in close contact with him, of course, through video chat and stuff like that. But it's just not the same, right? In spite of it, my son and I have always been able to maintain, a close kind of bonded relationship, right? And, which I feel fortunate for that. But when he was 14, he wanted to get away from Florida. He wanted to come live here with his daddy. I was obviously ecstatic about that. So he did, and he moved down here when he was a freshman in high school, and he's been here ever since. My deal with him and my wife's deal with him was, hey, we'll help you get a car, whether that be we'll take Chrissy's car and hand that down to you and literally say, here, congratulations, there's a car that's free that you don't have to pay for, if one condition, if you get yourself a part-time job and at least pay for your car insurance. We feel like that's a good way to, my son needed that. He went, and I don't want to go into the previous parenting style of my ex-wife and my son's stepfather at the time, but they were very busy, hard-working people, and they stayed gone a lot. Both of them traveled for work. So it was one of those things where my son literally kind of got left to his own devices, to the point where the kid didn't even clean his room when he was living with his mom, And when he came to live with me, I was like, young man, the tables have turned. It's a new day. It's a new sheriff in town. New time. New place. New everything. Your room better be clean. Your laundry better be kept. Your bathroom better be clean. You gonna do this chore around the house, this chore, this chore, this chore. If you want a car, we will help you get a car, because we understand that you've not had a job up until now, and you don't just have grands in the bank to be throwing at a car. So we'll help you with that, but there's gonna be some skin in the game from you, which means you got to get out there, get yourself a little part-time job, and his whole thing was, and my son battled a little bit with the laziness. This is something that I think a lot of 17, 14, 15, 16-year-olds battle with. Well, he's 17 now, and I finally started to get through to the kid, I think. And he started to realize we kind of started withholding. And when I say withholding, we went through a period of time where we would let him do stuff around the house, and we would give him some money for it. 20 bucks here, 40 bucks there. The stuff he was doing wasn't really deserving of 40 bucks, 60 bucks, right? But we're just trying to help the kid out, right? And but after a few times of doing that, and then we turn around and, we've already given him $300-400 in a 4 or 5 month period, and he turns around and spends every dime of it on idiocy, you know, buying this online and buying that online. And then we go out of town and he's getting food delivered every night. I was like, nah, bro. Yeah, we're not going to give you any more money. That's what's going on. Pay for your food. We'll pay for your lights. We'll pay for you, you know, a warm bed and room for you to sleep in, hot water so you can get showered. We'll buy you clothes when you need them, school supplies when you need them. We'll do all that, but we're not just going to be handing you money so that you can go flippantly, willy-nilly spend it on whatever your little 14, 15, 16-year-old brain can think of that you want, right? So we cut that. We stopped giving them any sort of allowance. And I think after about 8 months to a year of that, and growing up a little bit, he's now a senior, 17 years old. He's starting to think more like an adult. And I think he started to realize that, damn, I ain't getting no money. I want to get some money, you know. And he has friends that still live in Florida and that still live in Spain that he keeps in contact with. All of them are a little bit older than him. All of them are already out working, earning money. You know, some of them are already out of school, working full time, that sort of thing. And so he finally got it in his mind that he's going to get himself a job. Well, he did. My wife kind of helped him, actually, because she knows some of the managers at these local grocery stores, because she's a former salesperson for Coca-Cola. So she's had to meet with these people and deal with these people on a professional level. So she helped him to get a job at Food Lion. He finally got a job at Food Lion. He's worked a couple of nights, but he doesn't have a car yet, because what he wants to do is he wants to save up. And, you know, between now and the time he turns 18 in July, he wants to save every bit of the money he makes at Food Lion, and he wants to put that into buying his own car, which we're okay with, because our plan was to make sure that he had a car. We were even considering giving my wife's car, which is a little older, you know, has about 140, 150,000 miles on it, but we were going to give that to him, wrap it in a bow and give it to him. It's a cute little car, right? And he would have been grateful for that. But he decided he wanted to save his own money and get a car that he likes, something like a Subaru WRX, whatever. So we were cool with that. We're like, yeah, absolutely. Then we can keep my wife's car, which is already paid for. We can keep running it into the ground. We don't have to take on an extra car payment and all this other stuff. So everything's good. Everything's all good in the hood. My son started working. Here's the catch. The catch is he has to get a ride to work. The catch is when he gets finished working, he has to be able to get home somehow. You know, even though we only live 2 miles from the house, I'm not going to make the kid walk home in 20-degree weather. You know, it's pretty cold around here right now. That could possibly be an option for him, you know, in the spring, summertime months, but I don't trust people anyway. I know my son can handle himself, and my son's got hands too. You know, he's trained in kickboxing and boxing and stuff, and I've trained him myself, plus sparred with him. So I'm not so worried about my son getting any sort of trouble, but the way people drive around, and, you know, every time I make a commute to or from work, I pass probably 10 to 15 people on the way that I look over and they're doing this. Sitting there on their phone, you know, driving, looking at their phone at the same time. I mean, I know you guys have seen it too. You see it all the time. You can drive by and look like this, and you can see their phone right here where they're doing this and looking at it, and then trying to drive at the same time, just like. And you know, it wasn't but a few months ago, there was a gentleman jogging near where I live, and this is horrible, okay? And this was like, I think, 42-year-old man, I believe, with a family. An old lady runs off the road at night, didn't see him, he was close to the side of the road, runs off the road, hits him, kills him dead. This happened 15 minutes from where I live, okay? So, if anybody wonders why I don't want my son to walk home from work, that's why. It's because I don't trust people's driving. And besides, he works near the school, lives near the school. There's a lot of young 16, 17, 18-year-old kids that live around that area because of the school. And you know how kids that age can be. They're irresponsible. They can't stay off their phones. And on top of it all, they're inexperienced drivers. So there's no way in hell I'm going to let my son walk home for fear that he'll get run over walking down the side of the road. okay? So somebody has to go get him. So that's just another layer of responsibility added to my life. But I'm blessed to have a family. I am blessed to have a family, to have a wife that loves me, to have 2 beautiful children, and in the midst of all the haste and the stress and responsibility, I can take a step back and I can look from a third-party objective bird's eye view, and I can say, damn, I'm really a blessed, fortunate man, no matter how stressful my life may be at times. And I think that's important, to be able to look at life that way in spite of everything you have going on, Let me read some comments here, now that I've spent 16 minutes talking about randomness. But what do you expect, bro? I'm just a guy on my lunch break, and that's one thing that you'll learn about jumping on my channel. And I think people have finally learned, dude, we can't hold this dude to talk about one specific thing. He's just a guy on his lunch break, bro. He's gonna talk about whatever the hell pops in his brain. And in this brain, with everything I got going on in my life right now, there is absolutely no telling what that might be from day to day, from moment to moment, right? Welcome to my life. Welcome to my world. And that's what this channel is all about. Part of it is Kratom, because it's something that I have experience with and something that I do on a daily basis. Is something that you guys do on a daily basis, and it's something that ties you guys to me, and it's something that we all have parallels with, and we all have that in common. But you know what? Something else that we all have in common? We live a life. We live life, and hopefully we love life. That's what I talk about on here. It can be anything pertaining to life. I will talk about it on this channel. So you're getting to know me, you're getting to know my life, my personality, do a little bit about my family. When I do short videos and stuff, I include all kinds of things, from feeding pet squirrels that hang out around my house, to my exercise routine, to my musical talents that I share with you guys. I've done videos where I'm with my son, my infant son. My 17-year-old is more like a hermit, so I don't really include him that much. I've got a couple of kickboxing videos on there, including him, but I'm going to have to start incorporating my wife into them a little more. You know what? I'm going to start doing that. All right. At Peter Dillon 9761 says, gabapentin, clonidine, maybe a benzo. Done. Work out. No more Kratom. Good luck, my guy. Thank you for those tidbits of information. And I will say, Peter, yes, I have heard all of those things. Obviously, this does lend itself to the idea that unless you already currently have a prescription for something like gabapentin, clonidine, or some sort of benzo, you obviously have to go see a professional. You'd have to go see a doctor and get these medications. With that, you would probably have to explain to them what it is that's going on with you. You can't just walk into a doctor and sit down. How can we help you today? I was just wondering if you could give me some gabapentin, clonidine, and maybe a benzo. They're going to be like, why? But not to poke fun, Peter, because I've heard every one of these that you mentioned. I have heard that all of these are beneficial in helping to come off of something like Kratom, something that has that opiate sort of feel. And I do also want you guys to drop in the comments and let me know, because I have a doctor's appointment coming up in about a month. It's sometime in February. I'm not exactly sure when, but I'm actually considering speaking with my doctor. She seems really cool. She's, a female doctor, obviously. A lot of times I've noticed that females tend to be a little bit more kind of understanding and nurturing with a little bit better bedside manner. They kind of lend themselves to being open to you just talking to them like, hey, you know, I want to talk to you about something that's going on with me, see if you can help me. And I think I would feel a little bit more comfortable about doing this with her than I would a male doctor. Why that is, I don't really know. Maybe the male doctors tend to be their bedside manner's not as great. They're more like, just, you know, one thing at a time, straight to the point. What do you need so I can get you out of here and get to the next patient? You know, and they don't tend to be, you know, I mean, let's just be honest. A lot of men are not as great at listening as women are, okay? So I think I would feel comfortable with talking to her about it, and I'm considering doing that. Considering saying to her, I started taking something called Kratom. I do have a background, do have a history of, you know, abusing opioids from, you know, my late 20s, early to mid 30s. And I found Kratom several years back, and I'm to a point where I'm taking X amount per day, and I would like to stop, you know, and except here's the problem. When I go to stop, I'm getting this symptom, that symptom, you know, and talk to her about the withdrawals, which I have no idea how knowledgeable my physician is on Kratom. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's on most physicians' radars at this point. But I would like for you guys, I know a lot of you out there have met with your doctor and have talked with the physician about Kratom, about your Kratom use, stuff like that, because I've read comments before where people were saying they talked to their doctor about it. I have not yet, considering doing so, so that I can give myself a better fighting chance. You know, I'm just, and I have tapered before, and a lot of people want to run on, you know, when I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, you know, most people very, very supportive. But then of course I had one person, nah, just do it. You said it in one of your former videos, don't be a pansy. And I just want to say, when I said that, my frame of thought at that time, whilst saying that, was that if you've made the decision, if you've made the decision that you are going to come off, you do, to some degree, just have to sack up and say, you know what, it's gonna suck. You gotta be a hard ass. You gotta just kind of meet the discomfort and the pain head on. You gotta do the working out, hit the heavy bag, you know, go, you just gotta, it's going to be a challenge, and you just have to accept that, and don't be a pansy. Just understand that it is going to be difficult, and you just have to meet that challenge head on. It's just what it is. You know, that is the perspective that I was talking about. But I was discussing where I was at in my life, and the fact that I didn't think I was ready to take that step or to make that plunge right now. You know, with having a young infant that's already affecting my sleep, this and that and the other, I have to be on my P's and Q's. I have to do this at an opportune time, at an appropriate time, right? And then, of course, I had somebody, no, bro, just do it. It's going to suck. You already know it's going to suck. You said in one of your previous videos, don't be a pansy. Trying and attempting to turn my own words against me. I love you, dude. If you're listening, you know who you are. But hey, you're not lying. I did say that, but I said that talking to people who had already made the decision. If you've made the decision that you're going to come off, then you do have to have the mindset of, you got to be tough. You can't be a pansy. You got to understand that it's going to be physically uncomfortable, mentally, emotionally uncomfortable, and you just got to kind of man up, sack up, and go through with it. But that's if you've made the decision to do it. You have to be at a point in your life where you're ready to make that decision. I've been at points in my life where I'm fed up with it, I'm tired of it, and I just wanted to be done with it. That's where I was with the MIT extracts when I first started this channel 9 months ago. But I've also been through points in my life like where I'm at right now, where I'm like, you know what, I don't even really want to attempt it right now. You know why? Because I've done it before. And because I know what I'm up against. I know it's tough. I know you've got to sack up. I know you can't be a pansy. But I will worry about not being a pansy and sacking up once I've officially stepped both feet through that door of deciding to come off of it, right? And at that point, you can mentally prepare yourself. You're like, all right, I've decided, I'm gonna do it. There's no turning back. And then there's something about this switch that flips in you when that happens. Then at that point, sack up. Not a pansy. Can do this, got to do that to help through the withdrawal. Whatever it is, you got to get through it. You know, that sort of thing. Right now, I'm at a place where I'm not at the place at this very moment where I'm ready to snap my fingers and say, okay, that's it. I'm officially getting off of this stuff right now. Anyway, I'm not going to keep, blowing over that 100 times. But I'm thinking about going to see my doctor about it. But my stipulation is this. If with her prescribing me something like gabapentin, by example, or clonidine, or maybe she gives me some benzos to help with the withdrawal, or maybe she decides to do like Suboxone treatment or something so I can, edge my way off and not have such severe withdrawals. Whichever way it happens, it's going to require a prescription from her, right? I don't want her to say, well, I'll give you this and I'll do this, but you're going to have to be not under the care, but you're going to have to be in a professional organization like an NA or an AA or whatever. Now, if she wants to suggest it to me and then give me the option of going to NA or AA, she's welcome to do that. But if she gives me a stipulation to where I'm not going to give you this Suboxone unless you also go to NA or AA, or I'm not going to give you this prescription of gabapentin or clonidine or any benzos unless you also go to AA or NA. If she does that, she's just going to lose me because I'm not ready to do that right now. I have entirely too much going on in my life. I literally can't. It's not an option. I'm absolutely too busy, especially now that my 17-year-old son has work. I couldn't do it before then. Now, I definitely can't because I have to be at the beck and call of my family literally every day. So, but I would like you guys to tell me, because I know a lot of you have seen your doctors, you talk to them about Kratom. Is it something where they're going to try to force you to go seek professional help through NA or AA if they help you with these sort of, substance weaning sort of medications like the gabapentin or clonidine, benzodiazepine, or like some Suboxone or something like that? Drop that in the comment. Let me know what you guys have experienced. And there was a response to that comment in music and sports. I have no idea what that is supposed to say. In Somo Sissy music and sports. No, in some system music and sports. I'm going to call you music and sports 4393. Thank you very much. Gabapentin really is a mistake for it. I think that's what he was trying to say. He misspelled mistake, if that's what he means. It says MIRSCKE, which doesn't spell anything, but given the context clues of the sentence, I think he meant mistake. Gabapentin really is a mistake for it. It's hard not to overdo it, though. Good thing it requires a script, because I know it also can be addictive. It helps so much with the mental aspect. So, I'm not sure what he was saying, if that's a mistake. Basically, what I get from this comment is, yes, you are correct, Peter Dillon. Gabapentin definitely does help, especially with the mental aspect. But it's a good thing that it requires a subscription. Subscribe to the channel. That's a good segue. Subscribe to the channel. I need your subscription to the channel. I need it. Good thing it requires a prescription, because it is, in fact, also addictive is what he's saying. At Stop Spying on Me says, current plan is to load up on weed and just go cold turkey. I stupidly bought 2 carts and 8 for $100. Just applied for a new job at the dispensary. Hope they call me. I hope they call you as well, bro. I hope the best for everyone on here. All of you guys are my friends and much like my family, so I hope they call you as well if you feel like that's going to be a good opportunity for you. Yeah, load up on weed and go cold turkey. Hey, let me know what else you include. Include exercise, include a good diet, include a bunch of water. At Stains 5714, used Kratom for several years. The only issues I have when taking Kratom breaks is sleep disruption, restless legs, tossing and turning. Usually last a couple of weeks, then I'm fine. Yeah, no, for me, that also, that's my most notable. That is absolutely my most notable symptom, okay, is the sleep. So much so, it outweighs the other symptoms so much that a lot of times that's mainly what I talk about when I talk about how difficult it is to come off of Kratom, is the sleep piece, the insomnia, the restless legs, just not being able to get still at night and stay asleep. Because the other stuff, the daytime stuff, it's much like just having a cold or having a light flu or something like that. I mean, it sucks. You don't feel good. And the low mood and depression and stuff, that part of it sucks. But the physical aspect of the daytimes, it's like having a light flu. You go through it for a week, and after about a week, it kind of starts to let up a little bit, and I can deal with that stuff. But the not sleeping and the insomnia is just an absolute nightmare if you are an actual adult who actually has a family, God forbid, or responsibilities like a job. The insomnia is just on another level. And yeah, so Stains, I feel you on that, man. Thank you for the comment, by the way. At Seeking Freedom 9020, not to be TMI, too much information, but every single time I take a shit, a hemorrhoid pops out. It goes back in after a few hours, but every time I get super inflamed down there. I have been to the doctor about it, but they say it's nothing to worry about. It's like blood just pools down there when I push. I don't know if it has been because of years of Suboxone use, and that makes you kind of constipated. So I think just years of pushing super hard made a varicose vein form down there or something. It basically feels like an inflamed varicose vein in my ass when I push to poop. Even now that I'm off Suboxone and everything, it still has not gotten better. Hey, brother, if you hadn't learned by now, there's no such thing as TMI on Just a Guy on My Lunch Break, bro. We go there, brother. We talk about it on here. This, obviously, from Seeking Freedom was a response to my video about a week or two ago where I was talking about the fact that I had a hemorrhoid, and I refused to go get seen about it because I don't want anybody looking at my ass, or I don't even want to talk about my asshole, really. But yeah, no, that's fair, man. And, it's one of those things where I don't think they really get better, It's one of those things where they flame, they become inflamed or pop out, or whatever the case is. Sometimes it's like a ruptured vessel, blood vessel, I think, and then other times it's like you're actually pooping out a little bit of your small intestine, I think, is actually what it is. But yeah, it can become inflamed. You can be a little blood down there. So I mean, welcome to Just a Guy on My Lunch Break. We talk about this shit, y'all. But yeah, no, not TMI, man. It is a common thing if you've been constipated a lot, and certainly Kratom and other types of opiates definitely can serve to constipate you, so that's a real issue. If I get cut off here, I want you guys to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below, and thank you for joining me once again. I'm going to try to read another comment. At Golden Power 1993, I don't ever hear anybody talk about skullcap, but it really helps me. Taking a skullcap tea makes me go way longer before feeling the need for a next Kratom dose. Elaborate on that a little bit. I know someone did come in. Oh, here it is. At Stop Spying on Me says, weird, I don't get anything after 8 hours, just a craving. The stuff you're talking about is agmatine. No, that's something different. Never mind. Yeah, agmatine is another supplement that people swear by really helps with the, I think, the mood and energy piece and the mental aspect of withdrawal. Agmatine is what that's called. Thank you, bro, for that. Skull cap. Look it up, guys, or drop another comment down here. Let me know specifically what skull cap is. Looks like, I think there's capsules of it, and you can also do a tea. But apparently that kind of helps with the with the withdrawals, to help you be able to go longer without actually taking another dose. I have a couple more comments I wanted to get to, but I'm just not gonna have time today. I gotta go. Love you guys. I hope you guys have a great evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.